Let's fucking go, Shki. I think we are live. Guys, this is CryptoCommons English channel. And let's start. This is another episode, or actually, this is a live stream. This is a crypto motherfucking live stream. How are we doing tonight or today? If you are watching this and also interested in crypto, please type something in chat so we can figure out if we are live or not. If you do not understand English and doesn't want to learn it as well, please unsubscribe from this channel because this is English version of our channel. If you are Russians or I don't know, Ukrainians or whatever you are. If you doesn't understand English and don't want to do it, so please unfucking subscribe, okay? And we can start from this. Today I think we'll have some special guests, maybe, yeah, I think Joe Sass will join as well, maybe Tone Vase or somebody else. Also, my buddy Crypto Hamster, if you hear me, please also feel free to join. And guys, smash up the fucking likes, please, because yeah, if you don't know, originally I am an crypto YouTuber, but in Russian spoken segment. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult for me to speak English so fast and good as I can speak Russian. So yeah, sometimes maybe I will forget some words or something like that. So yeah, please, if you don't mind, I will continue my practice. Yeah, what do we see? I also told this my Russian audience a few hours before that we had a very, very strong resistance level here. As we see on there, we see a lot of resistance. I mean, a lot of actual resistance in the order book. So that's why this is, I think, the main reason we see some kind of correction now, but also we see some buyers here. Look, we see some bulls step in back and say, no, we don't want to drop the price below these levels now. So yeah, this is looking pretty much sideways now. What do you think of that? If we paint some kind of parallel channel here, yeah, we have some kind of flat movement now. If we do not break this local lows like 68.5 or what. But anyway, it is 4 hour time frame. If we're looking daily, nothing really looking bullish for me because I mean now, actually, of course, long term we are looking very, very bullish, and Bitcoin is super strong. And look, it is building a parabolic structure now. It is building a new bull trend, but it will also, it has to correct at some point. If we see something like this, it's not good. It is like it's to the moon, but it will go to the bottom right after that. So we want to see healthy uptrends, like pumps, corrections, and then we at some point we will break even this local parabola, I think. And yeah, I'm pretty much sure that we will break any local parabola and yeah, see some sideways or triangles or some correction moves. So that's what are we talking about on this channel. Yeah, we usually did it on Russian, as I told you before, but now we'll do it in English too. So yeah, feel free to join and leave a like or comment if you're also interested in this topic. What about altcoin markets? Should I say altcoins or altcoins as different kinds of yeah, language pronunciation? I don't know exactly British or American, but ALTS, I think ALTS is American or both British and American pronunciation. I think Tone Ways also says altcoins. Altcoins, because for me it sounds like old coins, like very old, you know, like OG, like historical coins. I mean, in terms of alt, like alternative coins, yeah, I prefer to say altcoins. So don't give a shit, please. If you're some kind of Indonesian or African, you should understand me completely. Or if you are from Iceland, for example. So, yeah, if you don't like something, get the fuck out, because we need to really to make this channel much more how to say, organic. Yeah, maybe I should tell you that this channel, which you are looking right now, was previously, originally, it was an CryptoCommons English channel as well. If you scroll down, the first videos was on English. It was my interview with Carl from the Moon and some other videos like Binance tutorial, and then we restarted it after three years of silence. We restarted it again with Joe Saston, Weiss, and other great minds in future. So yeah, but these 3 years gap between the new videos and old videos, we were doing Russian, fucking Russian language content, guys. We were translating all the American, European, and other guys like. mm, a lot of guys. I mean, Bob Lucas, Alessio Rastani, who the fuck else? Plan B. A lot of guys. Kevin Svensson, Benjamin Cohen, which are you also? I think maybe you are watching them also, because if we go to into the Cryptoverse, the site of Benjamin Cohen's, yeah, he's a great. By the way, he's a great mind. I really appreciate him to what he's doing, and at some point, if he can come to our stream, it will be amazing. So yeah, we can see some social media charts here. Social media, yeah, YouTube subscribers, and this is all biggest channels. Cryptos are us, Benjamin Cohen, and other as well. Coin Bureau, Altcoin Daily. So we did a lot of translations of that major channels to Russian. So we did actually voiceovers, and yeah, we did a lot of voiceovers. So that's why this channel, which you are watching now, is man, it's pumping to Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus and like Russian-speaking territories. So we need to break this fucking algorithm. So we need to pump it to European, to American, to Asia, Eastern, Western, basically any territories, any geo uh, locations except Russia. So please, yeah, help us to push it, and let's start. Or maybe let's continue. What do we see now of the Bitcoin price? Yeah, it is very inspiring and looking promising that we see Bitcoin breaking all-time highs now, because a lot of shitcoins didn't perform so well, even like they are uh, still under the bottom, but Bitcoin is breaking all-time high. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest. Joe says, "Hey bro,
Hey,
how are you
how's it
doing,
going, man?
man?"
Excellent, excellent. Just hanging out. How are you doing?
Yeah, me too. I was, I told you before that the one of the biggest musical open airs in Argentina is right in front of my window. So yeah, basically I still hear. No, now
Hmm.
I'm not hearing, but a few hours ago I heard, I think it was Offspring, then it was like Blink 182 or something. So a lot of loud music right in front of me.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
tight.
I can sleep, and yeah, maybe I should do some trades. You told me that you are in trade right now,
Yeah,
or you closed it.
I'm thinking
Well,
about closing it. Pretty,
you tra are you trading BTC or some
yeah,
shitcoin?
BTC USDT pair.
Oh, great. Yeah, by the way, I should tell our audience, if somebody watching us right now, that we are trading in the competition on a Deepcoin exchange. This is pretty good exchange with no KYC yet, and very similar to Bybit, and has a lot of contracts, even coin margin inverse contracts. And now we're trading with Joe. Wow, Joe, you're already in third place. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm still in zero profit because I didn't trade. So I'm waiting on sidelines and thinking about maybe maybe even short position. I don't know, on Solana or some
Okay.
overpumped. coin. What do you think? So yeah, guys, please feel free to join this competition. I just leave links under the description below. What do you think, Joe, of the market? Maybe you can share some your screen, some stuff or
Yeah,
some trades.
yeah, let's see
Please
here.
go ahead.
All right, I can take it over here. So I'll start with my outlook. I've just been playing this. I probably started trading around here or here. Made my first trade and bailed at this pump. Oh no, no, no. I got out at this one. Lower high. So my first trade was a short, a very low leverage short. Yeah, let's see. You know what? I think we actually have this that we can look at.
Oh, nice.
Let's see here. So I sold, let's see here. I sold this, I shorted up here at 71. I bought in a few times over the next dump and I exited. I missed this one. I exited my position and then I reversed my position uh to go to go short. So this one was a stop and reverse. And then, so this one probably added up to like a 7 to 10x trade between multiple entries. The first one was a stop and reverse. The second one was probably a double down. And
Mm-hmm.
then by this one, I was probably at about 7x, piling on a little bit. You could probably see it in a smaller time frame. And then this one was a stop and reverse also. But since this position was fairly large, it was already 7x. I just closed my position and then I opened up a new position starting out with one contract at approximately, something like, one X or something like that. So,
Uh-huh.
just explaining that for anyone that wants to understand trading. What I'm looking at are buy signals. So that the equivalent of trade number one is, right before that little rip to the upside. So I got some signals up here. I really liked what I was seeing. So I took that trade. I got in probably right here and right here. So you can see the consistent signals here, the 5 to 10% band light up. A lot of support, very consistent support in this range. You can see that every time we come back to this 60, mid to high 60K range, 66, 67. We have pretty consistent support. And even as we were starting to push down, and this was getting a little scary for a lot of people, there was the 5 to 10% band light up. So it gave me a good bit of confidence. And you can also see here that the aggregated spot markets started flipping quite bullish. We went from kind of a strong bearish dominance to an intermittent flipping in and out. And then as we crashed, we really started to widen that gap and express the shape of the market, I think. So this was not such a bad dip. I mean, it could have gotten much worse, obviously. But yeah, so got in here and yeah, it's just consistent signals have been really lining up and in this sell range, maybe with a little bit of sellers chasing the book, this creates a really good channel. Channels are the best thing you can possibly get, especially wide channels. We're talking between 70 and 72, let's say, and 66,000. Those are
60, yeah, 67,
yeah,
66,000.
these are
That's
these are perfect.
I just mentioned it before you joined this channel. Also, if you see a 4 hourly there, you see some buyers on 4 hour time frame, at least at my settings. So maybe we will see some sideways. Yeah, you see
Yeah.
too.
To me,
What do you think?
so one thing about why I look at small time frames is because the order book, it's not about time frames, it's about the moment. All it takes is one buyer to show up and
Uh,
stack an order in order for the order book to be valid. And this is one of the most important points. Let's say I flip to a 40 whatever, a 4 hour. The only way that we're going to get a signal print right here on this candle, right? Let's say we get this signal, right? We have this signal right now. The only way that this signal printed is because at the last tick at 3 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, this had a signal. So to me, on a 4 hour chart, this does not represent the entire market for 4 hours. It doesn't, it could, let's look at that. So look, for only a matter of maybe
mhm.
an hour and a half, did we have signals in this range? Only for maybe an hour and a half out of four
Yeah.
hours. We just happened to be on that tick of the fourth hour as we turned and we had signals. So I do think it's valuable sometimes to look at the larger time frame. It does help. It can help
Yeah,
to
but
just see
it's
that.
a lagging, it's more lagging indicator if you're looking at daily or 4 hour. That's
Yeah,
what you
because
mean?
you don't, well, you just don't know when the signal printed. Like this, for example, let's say we were looking at a 4 hour candle over here, right, on the buy side. Yeah, there were signals the whole time. So this does generally represent what happened in a 4 hour period of time. But let's say the fourth hour ticked right here, right as we pumped, we had the last second of the hour tick, and then we had a signal. So if I was to look at that, it wouldn't necessarily represent an entire 4 hours worth of time. It really only represents a few moments in time. So that's what the order book is all about. The order book is about understanding the exact moment in time that psychology shifts from bearish to bullish or whatever, neutral, channel style, you get what I'm saying. The order book, it shows you in the moment that shift in psychology, and all it takes is a trade history and an order book. I can see the people buying their last bits of corn or selling, and then you can start to see that wall show up, and bam, all these guys, might have sold, and there's now a 69 pack wall. No one sold anything close to that. You can just see here that the probably the biggest wall that we have, probably the biggest sell that we have is a 9.45 pack. This is about $700,000, pretty good, but then a 60 pack shows up at the top of the book, and that's a shift in psychology, right? And that's exactly what I want to see, because I think the market is very much like a game of Call of Duty, or
Yeah.
you're playing against other people, and you're playing against like the map. You know how like you spawn over here sometimes, and the enemies are spawning over here, and then over the course of the game, the spawn points kind of go around in a circle and end up in just, they try to keep them all different apart from each other, right?
Yeah, and
So
the pro guys now knows where you spawn and where to
ex
shoot.
yeah, they throw a freaking grenade over there and then
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I played Quake at some is my
mhm.
childhood. Quake third.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, and actually this is a zero sum game, so we should
hmm
remember we do not make money from air, like we take it from other players in the other
That
book.
is very true.
Yeah,
It's
so
that's
this is
uh-huh.
more like for scalping for like intraday trading, right? This information which
I
uh,
believe so. I think you can use it. For example, if I was to look at this right now, I would be bullish for at least a few days. This would be a swing trade long to me. Um,
yeah,
there's a number of scenarios. This is kind of looking like a swing trade. Sure, obviously in a bull market, we would expect to be annihilating sell side resistance, right? So first you need to identify the trend. Once you've identified the trend, then you can make different types of decisions. I personally enjoy taking more trades. That's like, as a trader, it's more exciting for me to be active versus, it's just how I started up trading, was trading all day, every day, click, 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 type, just enter contract size, enter trade value, and press the button. And man, as many trades as I could possibly land a day, I was all in. So there are times where you get more swing style positions, and something like this would be ideal. We know that the trend is bullish. We can see that the support is massive, and this is a position that you can set and kind of let it ride, and combine that with something. Let's see, March 5th here. I always like to combine it with the technical indicator. I know we've been talking about this for some time, but on March 5th, let's see here, we were in an active long, so this would have been a great trade. We're in an active technical long on the 4 hour on Gigatrend, which I basically only use Gigatrend or MSR for my technicals. And so this would have been my confirmation bias of the trend, at least short term. And also, just to note, the daily was in a long as well, March 5th. Yeah, and the daily, we're in an active long from 62K. So combine that 62K with something like 62K, maybe a day later or a day before. That's an ideal situation for me. Combine the technicals. So then I know that I've caught an entry on a technical indicator that's more of a swing trade style position. And obviously as a scalper, if I want to, I can play this as much as I possibly can. But then this is what I call base level trading. I call it base level trading because let's say you by the time you're down here, you want to be in a
yeah,
10x position, right? And so you want to be actively trading, but you don't want to miss out on the entirety of the move, right? Because sometimes the trend can go, pretty far, right? We're talking between 45 and and 52 here in one example, and we're talking 54. So sometimes as a scalper we make mistakes. As a scalper, sometimes you can bail from a trade too soon, right?
Yeah, so you should keep at least 10% in like in
I
position,
keep
never
like
close.
yeah,
I'm telling you
I would say
nowadays.
like I do like 5x. If I'm in a 10x position, I'll keep 50% of that position open. So basically I'll be
Yeah.
exiting 5x, adding 5x, exiting 5x, and then probably adding
Yeah.
5x. Something
You
to that
trade
effect. And
you trade with a speculative part of your position. Like you trade as a trader, but some part of your position should be like a hodl
yeah,
position,
yeah,
which you do not
it's,
trade with.
I agree.
Absolutely. Uh,
And let's see.
can
This
you
thing's
can you take a look at some shitcoins with your settings
yeah.
after? Yeah, maybe you can tell us about your trade and then afterwards because I was looking at Solana today. Uh,
Okay.
did you take a look? Because when
Yeah.
everything was dumping, Solana was feeling good and it like almost $200. What do you think of this?
Oh, whoops. Solana. So
Yes,
Solana,
absolutely
we're
bullish.
still. This is the thing, man. I've just learned not like technicals aren't my thing, right? And I have to use someone else's mind for technicals, basically. And so for me, if we have an open trade, I leave it. I gotta leave it, man. The only thing that I would say is maybe you can observe if we break beyond our moving average here. Obviously, that kind of stuff is important, but for me, I think Solana is looking pretty clean. I think the market is in a interesting condition right now. We are bullish, clearly, right? New all-time highs. Who would have guessed? Not too many people would have guessed that we were going to have all-time highs before the halving. Obviously, it was thrown
Yeah.
out there. Some of us threw it out there, but I don't think a lot of people would have guessed that, right? Historically, it's never really happened before. So,
Yeah, only in 2012 or so, like
yeah,
before the first halving, was
exactly. Yeah,
$10 Bitcoin.
everything was a all-time high before then, basically, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. By the way,
But
what do you think of possible corrections in crypto markets, like in 1 month or so? I mean, we see halving in 30 days or like
yeah.
something like this. Do
Well,
you
let's
think
let's
it's possible that we can go even lower
we've seen
after this swing long position? I
yeah.
mean.
Bitcoin takes a move down. Some shit coins take a massive move down, and some just keep moving up, right? Here's Shiba. Bitcoin took a big move down. Here's what Shiba looks like, pretty small move down.
Mm-hmm.
Pape is still, big move
Yeah.
down, but on our Pape trade we're still up. 500%, 550%. So I do think that when Bitcoin dumps, everything else goes hard. The Solana thing is a bit of an anomaly to me. This thing just keeps going up, keeps going up. Let's flip this to a daily. We're on our way to all-time highs, it looks like. So yeah, look at how fucking cooked this RSI is, man. We're at RSI value of approximately 88 or so. Humongous overbought condition here. No idea what it could possibly be causing this. Maybe it's just, the FOMO. Again, back to Bitcoin having that very interesting psychology. The higher price goes, the more people want to buy it, and I think that's what we're kind of waiting to see in some of these other altcoins. But yeah, I think market wide, if Bitcoin takes a step down, the majority of them will be taking a step down with Bitcoin. And you can see we've been in a downtrend on Shiba, and you can see Hex here fucking had a massive crash. This is also because Richard Hart came out with a tweet that kind of criticized his own project, but his
Yeah,
Ethereum, he
yeah.
criticized Ethereum Hex.
Hex is. I remember Ton Wei's video about Hex like five
Hmm.
years ago or so when it was
Yeah,
started. It's like it's a
with like the
scam
lawyers,
in
right?
general. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I mean, look, it's again, we're all just trying to make more Bitcoin, right? So it's like sometimes you catch a shit coin that does a 10,000x, and we gotta
yeah.
we gotta play the hand we're dealt. A lot
We
of us have been through.
man, we can see it like in a shitcoin without white paper, only with white paper, or even without a white paper. Like
Yeah,
just
remember
fun
back in
tokens.
2017, 2018, every shitcoin had a white paper. It might have been dumb. It
Yeah.
might have not made any sense. It might have been just totally fucking retarded, but they had white papers back then.
Yeah.
Now,
Even BitConnect had a white paper, I think.
yeah, everything. At least Tron copy pasted Ethereum's white paper and
Yeah.
converted it to Chinese just in Sun, right? just fucking copied that shit over to Chinese and then made an entire white paper that was already made, but just converted it. And
Yeah.
then, at least that's the effort people, the minimum effort people were going through was white paper. And then
Yeah.
come 2019, 2020 with DeFi and all these fucking sushi swaps and remember all that? There's no
Burger
such thing
swap.
as a white paper anymore. No one ever
Mhm.
asked anymore, what about your white paper? I need to see your purpose. So we haven't seen those for a long time, man. I haven't seen white papers for a long time. I used to be curious. I used to read through them a little bit. I remember Ripple's white paper. It was stupid, really dumb. There's a lot of white papers out there that were just really dumb. But yeah, nowadays we don't even see those. So I'm just so you know, I'm really thinking about bailing from this trade. We've kind of headed down here to the bottom end of this RSI a few times. What I'd like to see is us fall through the floor a little bit here, fall through, below this 30-point value. Um, I think that is very possible. But yeah, I'm thinking we are trending nicely. And I think you
Mhm.
like RSI a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's looking like a good opportunity, but I think we can, if we crash a little bit, it will be by the dip
Yeah, for
situation
sure.
on 5 minutes chart. Yeah. And but I think we should point out that in this competition you don't have a minimum deposit requirement. I mean, you can trade even with $10, with $20, guys. You
Mm,
see Joe also trading with a small bank like
yeah.
$70 or something. You really can trade with a minimum amount you wish. So you can try. And some guys who even like minus 100%, they also can. Can win prizes because not too much people trading yet. So please feel
Yeah.
free to join. Only 2 days or 3 days left. Yeah, I think 2.5 days left. Wow, some
Someone's
guy
negative 100% with 2.2 million trade volume,
insane,
but he's winning
insane
10
bucks.
bucks at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Negative 617% with a 90,000 trade volume, negative 500% with a 5,000, 36,000 trade volume at negative 136. Man, and you can see clearly here,
Yeah.
11,
Why
1100.
why they again they go negative more than 100%? I mean, I read
Yeah,
the rules. I think they fixed it. Like it should be maximum
uh,
100% negative
it's
or not.
because if you get liquidated and then you
Yeah.
buy back in, it's like in poker, right? If you lose your
Ah.
if you go all in poker, you lose your hand,
Mm-hmm.
you can buy back in and keep playing in the tournament sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what
Ah.
this means. This means that someone got liquidated and then they bought back in. This person looks like they got liquidated about 3 times and maybe they're in one trade right now. This
You
person
mean
got liquidated 5 times.
yeah.
Every 100% is a full liquidation.
So even they don't need even to lose all their deposit if it's isolated margin, or they need to do a new deposit to get another
Exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
Ah, okay, okay.
Let's say you start with 100 bucks and then you get
Yeah.
liquidated and then you put in another 100 bucks and then you get liquidated. So you get liquidated off 100 bucks the first time. That's negative 100%. You lost your entire account. Negative 100% of it is gone.
Ah,
And
okay.
then you're like, you know what? We still have we still have 4 or 5 days, whatever, left on this competition. Almost 3 days left on the competition. I can make it back. I'm gonna deposit another 100 bucks and I'm gonna get back at it. And you
Mm-hmm.
get liquidated again. Now you're at negative 200% because you started with 100, but then you're negative 200 according to your P&L. You're negative $200.
Yeah,
So
and you should do more and more profit because you're like you should do more in dollars. So this like looking impossible. Guys, don't do that. Don't over leverage and don't gamble,
yeah,
please, because trading is not about gambling. Trading
yeah,
is the best
trading
trade is no trade.
competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, trading competitions are to teach you how to trade with large amounts of money. You should, on a trading competition, I would say, look, trade with whatever you want to trade with, right? But I personally make sure two things are going to happen. A, I don't lose my house if I fail, and B, I'm able to seamlessly enter and exit positions. If I go 10x with $50,000, that's a $500,000 trade now. And and let's see how much can the order book absorb right now. The order book can, without slippage, with slippage, we're at about 35K at the top of the book. I would surely take on at least, maybe $50 in slippage right now if I did a $500,000 market buy. Now, alternatively, if I have $50 and I go 10x, now that's a $500 trade, which will get filled every single time I press the buy or sell button. Every single time. Without slippage, I will get a $500 trade filled. So that's one of the values, especially during a trade competition, of trading with small amounts of money. You really want to make sure you can seamlessly enter and exit positions. Oh man, and it looks like I just barely missed that tap down here. We turned our heads and we got the bottom end of the RSI, but it'll probably come back down. So once it comes back down, that's when I'll think to stop and reverse here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it's looking like.
I'm looking at Solana, man. I'm thinking maybe to take some quick short scalp. It's looking triple toppy in 1 hour.
I mean, that RSI is cooked, man. Based on the RSI alone, I wouldn't mind pulling some profit on that, but you know, we had a situation over here
Yeah.
where we were cooked, tiny pullbacks, cooked, tiny pullbacks, and bam, went up high. More recently though, back in December, this was a little bit more of a rational correction, I would say, a bit more rational. This one, I would think, since we've entered the volatility phase of a bull market, we're not necessarily at the top or anything like that, but we certainly entered the volatility phase of a bull market, and I would think things like this are going to cause more of a market reaction.
Oh, by the way, they removed Dash USDT perpetual contract for some reason.
From which one?
From Deepcoin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
maybe in terms of low liquidity, or I don't know. We need to check because some of my guys wrote me and I just check now. Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
watching Solana as possible hedge short, but in general, yeah, the market is bullish, so maybe it's better to wait some good entry points for long trade.
Yeah, I think this is probably going to close the position if we go sideways a bit longer. Probably if we go roughly, something like this. Oh, what the hell? Something like that. Then yeah, we're probably going to close position around here. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking for personally. I need to, but again, I'm just going to stick to playing one side because we have the numbers on Gigatrend, so I just want to stick
Mm-hmm.
to what you know what I'm saying? Right, hold on.
Yeah,
This is meant
if
for the
you're
4 hour.
if you're talking about long term, like uh, investor position, I think you shouldn't worry because it's looking parabolic, and I think we'll see $300 and maybe even more at some point. But now, if we are talking about trades, like short-term trades, yeah, you should take some profits because profits are real.
Hmm.
The gains are real. Yeah, and you know what? I Man, I was liquidated yesterday, I think, yeah,
Oh
on
yeah.
Bybit. Yeah, I was trading on Litecoin and Mana as well. It was a part of some profits, but anyway, yeah, I withdraw a lot of cash, but after that I was liquidated on two positions. So
Sorry to
yeah,
hear that, dude.
yeah, but it was like a stop loss, because it was a part of the profit. So that's what I'm uh, teaching my audience also, my Russian audience. If you should not trade with all your equity, never. Like
Yeah.
you do at some point, but then you should, if you have some profits, you should withdraw your like initial at least, and then you can trade with this profit. And
Yeah, what
yeah,
I encourage people to have what I call an insurance fund. Let's say you have a total of one Bitcoin. Let's say you have $100 that you're able to trade with. You should trade with
mm-hmm.
$25 and you should put 75 in your insurance fund. Your insurance fund would be something like your funding wallet, right? This is my perpetual USDT wallet that I'm trading from. And then in
Yeah,
your funding wallet, you would have the rest of your money. And the purpose of this is that if your 25 gets liquidated, chances are by the time you get liquidated, let's say you got liquidated down here, right here. Well, chances are this was still a good buy, right? You were just in the wrong position at the wrong time. Maybe you went long over here. You went long because your technical indicators were saying to go long, and you know, you got liquidated here, and then the market dips one last time, right? And so the reason why I encourage you to keep some money close is because as long as you've managed to keep yourself educated as a trader and educated about yourself well enough that you know if you can or cannot get back on the horse after getting liquidated from a position or stopped out of a position, then if you can get back on that horse, you move money back into your main trade fund, right? And then with all your profits that you pull from that, you put it into your insurance fund. And once your insurance fund gets to a roughly a ratio of 3 or 4 to 1, everything else goes to HODL forever. That's generally like the course of action I would take.
Um, I didn't understand the last part you say. If the what part goes to HODL
All the
if
profit. So once your insurance fund is like a ratio of three, like $75
three
to 25 or $100 to 25, then
uh-huh.
after that 25 is active, my 100 is filled up, my insurance fund is filled up. Every extra dollar I make is going to be going to HODL. And then
Ah.
eventually that $25 will get liquidated. I'll pull
Mhm.
25 from the insurance fund. I'll trade to get the insurance fund filled up again. Once it's filled up again, then all my money is going back into HODL.
Yeah, that is the main point. I also saying that if you're trading with margin, any kind of margin, futures, or if you trade with spot margin, you should be prepared that at some point you will get a margin call and you need to repay your loans. So you should have some money at least. And even you can use margin trading not as a trading, but as an investment tool. I mean, if you have some, for example, you have salary in the end of the month or at every date. In a month, and you know that you will have like $1,000 or $2,000 to invest, you can really borrow for this from an exchange. Like now you can borrow, I think if you borrow BTC to short it or to buy some altcoins, it's like one or 1.5% per year for
Really? So
one.
they're doing
Yeah, for one X
loans
leverage. I mean, on
with
Phoenix
credit?
exchange, yeah, on Phoenix, really you can do it because if you borrow USDT, it will be much it will cost you much more, but you can actually borrow BTC now. That's what I'm doing now on Phoenix, and buy some altcoins which you I think is very cheap in terms of BTC pairing. Yeah, you can do this, but you need to be prepared that you need to repay your loans. So that's why I'm doing this, but I have some BTC on the sidelines. If
Yeah.
I get margin calls, I can repay the loans. That's important. That's yeah,
Hmm.
that's the main thing. If you trade with leverage, at my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. And I've never taken a line of credit from an exchange before, but that's an interesting situation. I
Yeah,
know,
of course you need some equity for that because guys asking me like, if I have zero on balance, can I get a loan? Of course not.
yeah,
You need
yeah,
some
need some
um
collateral.
collateral. Yeah.
Um, is it still Jack over there?
What do you mean?
Is Jack still the CEO?
I'm not quite sure because I'm talking with the manager who is
Oh, okay.
responsible for yeah for Russian spoken
I'm gonna hit
community.
him up.
I'm not quite sure about CEO, but what do you think of the new Binance CEO? Do you remember his name?
No, I don't know anything
I
about
think
that.
nobody nobody really remembers his name. He's a quiet guy, but what do you think of what do you know about CZ? It was some news you remember how
I
like
think,
a couple of months ago.
yeah, I
He's
don't
still
really
alive.
like. I already knew about a lot about CZ from back in 2019, 2018. He was doing some stuff that I thought was pretty shady. I think Tether was manipulating the market back over, all the way back over here. This was the first time Tether really started increasing massively in market cap. They were doing $100 million prints before every single and throughout this entire run. And there was a lot of conspiracies flying around. Tether at the time was banking with Deltec Bank in the Bahamas. They claimed that they had $1.8 billion in reserves.
Uh-huh.
And the document like wasn't even, it was like not even signed. There was no name. We didn't even know who signed the document. You know, so it was a very shady document, and they had just lost their uh auditing firm, which was called Friedman LLP. They were the ones that were in charge of auditing Tether, and they were banking in the Bahamas. And out of nowhere, Tether just starts printing 100 million, 100 million, 100 million, all the way up until probably making a couple billion in prints. They doubled their market cap in the span of a couple months. So I think CZ was heavily involved in this. I call it the crypto cartel because the U.S. government started going after a lot of their money. They seized something like $900 million in Poland, and they seized a lot of iFinex's money, and they were
Yeah,
going after Bitfinex too back then.
Bitfinex. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Uh,
so that those iFinex is the parent company of both Tether and Bitfinex. Now, I think what they were doing was manipulating the market to buy themselves out of the hole. And you know, this whole time I was saying, you know, this is a fake run. It's going to end badly.
mhm.
Um, Ultimately it did, but it proved that a market can be manipulated successfully with a fiat currency like Tether, because they can print Tether out of thin air. They claimed in court when they were in New York that they weren't backed 1-to-1 like Tether had always said it was. Remember,
Yeah, that
Tether.
was the times. It was like back like 07 or something, and then they told that they backed in other things, other assets, not
Yeah,
only US dollars. Yes,
exactly.
I remember that.
Dollars
And
were only like
also
10%.
after that, Binance, you remember Binance bought Coin Market Cap after not
Yep,
long time after that. So they, I
bingo.
think what do you think of Binance volume now? Because it's pretty shady um on other resources like CoinGecko, but it's still pretty big. It's like 5x from other exchanges. Do you think
Yeah,
it's real or
I
not?
think it's
Because
real. I think it's real.
yeah, we're
I
looking
think
at
the
Binance
majority of the
chart.
world's going to trade there.
Because I'm asking because you remember the majority were trading at Mt. Gox at some point. Then it's
Yeah,
like scammed 90% of trading Bitcoins. Then it was Poloniex. You remember it was
yeah,
number one exchange in terms of altcoins when Ethereum launched and
yeah,
Bitcash, hard fork, all these times. But then it switched to Binance. I think probably we will see other exchange, maybe Bybit or OKX, some uh, the biggest ones now.
yeah,
And then that's why I also often say that you should diversify your exchange portfolio also, because if you trade only on one exchange, you can lose it all at some point. We can see another FTX or Mt.
yep,
Gox. So that's why, guys, you should take a look at Deepcoin if you are interested in trading and didn't sign up yet, because it's not actually new exchange I was talking before. It's maybe 3 years already or something like that. But it's yeah, I saw Deepcoin like on 20 place on coin markets capons or something like that.
yeah,
It's pretty good, and you should try it. Yeah, and no KYC and location restrictions. I think if you're trading from Crimea or something, some other places where you can
yeah.
get access on major exchanges.
This is probably something that I would consider like the danger zone. These
Uh-huh.
exchanges are probably the safest. Between, let's say, the top three are probably the most risky for some shady shit to happen. FTX, Binance, you know, FTX obviously, Bitfinex in its time, Mt. Gox, right? Well, they were all number one, and then they fucking something big and bad happened because they had the most Bitcoin, they had the most crypto. So this, and then Quadriga CX, you know, all these
Yeah, yeah.
exchanges that have made it pretty
AAX.
high. Yeah,
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 a lot of them are gone.
yeah, all because of scams, exit scams, or something else, right? But you know, so I tend to feel comfortable in, let's say, these exchanges, and then you get to a point where there's exchanges with no liquidity, and that's pretty risky too, because A, they don't have liquidity, so you're more prone to some wild wicks that, you know, let's say Bitcoin went from 70,000 down to
Yeah.
67,000 on probably all these exchanges above this line, but on these exchanges it could have, due to lacks of liquidity, it could have gone all the way down to 50K, you know, and that's
Yeah.
something that, yeah, and
You
we've seen
remember
that.
BitMEX? You remember BitMEX
Yep.
times when when it was like top one exchange in terms of 100x leverage.
Yeah.
BitMEX Wix on Corona Dump was like different, like for 20% or so from other
Yeah.
exchanges. And I saw it recently on a small exchange. It called Bitflex. It's Bitflex is a new exchange, also new, no KYC, but there was some weeks, you know, in terms of low liquidity, and there was like different, like, you know, like a gap, like an arbitrage gap, maybe
Yeah.
even 10% or so. It was difference in Bitcoin price. I saw that and I shorted that. I
Hmm.
shorted that and it immediately came back, you know, in 10 minutes. So I shorted this gap and make some profit. So you can even get some gains from this if you know how to trade. If you see
Exactly.
some, yeah, if you see some unnormal price, like you can be sure it will come back. As you remember, when USDC collapsed a little bit after, I mean, after FTX crash and Alameda Research, and they, or maybe after some bank, and I don't remember some name of this bank, but after it's crashed, USDC market cap went like 30 minus 30%. That was the perfect trade. You can bought USDC at 0.7 dollars,
Yeah.
0.7 USDT. That was a gap, like it was closed in 2 days. So sometimes you can trade this.
Yeah.
You know
It's
how to
definitely
trade.
tradable. You just have to
Yeah,
understand. You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. Because a lot
yeah.
of these exchanges, they might not pay you out. One time I had a trade where it was I took a position and it was perfect because it was actually back when Bitcoin was $10,000. And on this exchange, it had a flash pump to $15,000. The rest of all the exchanges were trading at 10,000. I knew that this was a short. So I shorted $15,000 Bitcoin and it would have made me a ton of money, but then the exchange canceled my position because they couldn't
Oh,
pay that out.
which exchange that was?
It was Bitsy, BTSE.
BTC.
Yeah, Bitsy. Back This was back in probably 2019,
Uh-huh.
back when Bitcoin was 10,000 ranging around there, so 2019, 2018 somewhere around there, but yeah, that had I would have made a ton of money. Would have made a massive amount of money on that. But they ended up cutting my position, and then when I spoke with them, because I knew the CEO, and he told me, yeah, unfortunately, we he basically just had to say kindly, the we can't pay you. The exchange doesn't have the money to pay you. And it was really dumb. It was really dumb because it glitched into a larger position than I was able to make. So even, I didn't even get any profit. It's like, well, pay me some money, but it was like, no, we can't pay you anything.
Yeah, that's stupid, man. Yeah, that's at
Yeah,
some point you should realize that not your keys, not your coins. If you trade on any exchange, if you deposit your coins, that's like get ready to lose them all.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember at one point on Poloniex, even those who gave their coins to lending, not for trading, for lending,
Hmm.
even they were liquidated. It was clumps BTC pairing. It was a super long squeeze, you know, super heavy dump, so they didn't get money to pay uh, those who short. They just took the loans, like, and yeah, it was
Hmm.
very stupid. And what do you know that somebody trades stable coins with leverage? I mean, you can trade, for example, USDC, USDT
Yeah.
with big leverage with no liquidation risk. What do you think of this kind of trading?
Um, I mean, it's doable. I've definitely played around with that, but you're talking about fractions of a percent, maybe
Yeah.
1% move, between $1 and 98 cents. Tether does have a tendency to range between, let's say, 98 cents and $1 and 2 cents, you know. So yeah, there is a range that you can play. It is a stable coin, so its purpose is always to get back to one. So if it goes below one, take the long. If it goes above one, take the short. Obviously, that's something you can do, but it requires a lot of money in order to be
Yeah.
making money off that. And then
Okay,
obviously, if
nice.
you're using leverage, then your liquidation price is pretty tight. So,
Yeah.
I'm not against it, but yeah, it's just not my game.
Yeah, it requires a lot of capital and
Yeah,
a lot of risks in terms of losing this capital with an exchange.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
That's why I'm preferring also to trade with a small amount of equity and use bigger leverage. If you want to trade For example, if you do not want to lose your Bitcoin, just trade with 0.1 or even 0.05 or 0.01. You can trade
Yeah,
with million Satoshi and take 100x leverage if you're sure. And yeah, get advantage of full Bitcoin. That's what exchanges are offering us. It's a great instrument if you do not over trade, you know, like do not gamble with that, because in the end you will lose it all. If you're everyday trading, you will lose it all 100%.
yeah,
You should be, you should stop your trades and like
agreed.
take a break at some point.
Yeah. Well, and I agree with that 100%. But hey, brother, I'm gonna be honest. I gotta wrap it up soon. I had a bunch of food before I got on, and I'm getting my food coma. I'm getting ready to go to bed over here.
Yeah, nice to have you on, Joe. Please
Yeah,
come next time. I think I will end soon also, maybe say a few words about my trades,
yeah,
possible trades.
yeah. Let's why don't we catch up? I think both of us might have a little bit of celebrations going on this weekend, but I'll be
Yeah,
catching you. Oh, what's this, Solana? Nice.
yeah, the Solana looking pretty bullish. Maybe if we break 200, I will do some scalp shorts. I don't know really for sure. I should look. Maybe tomorrow is better.
Yeah, maybe I need to create some order book signals for Solana now that it's doing all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are some good trades right there, man. Each one of those could have been profitable. Maybe not all of them. A little bit on that dip would have been tough, but man, I love the order book.
Yeah, me too. And halving is near.
36 days, it says.
36, 35 days. Yeah.
Good to know.
That is great. And some shitcoins are still pretty cheap, guys. If you are
Yeah,
interested in alt season, I think what better time than now, because non-financial advice, of course, but I mean, if we look at alt season index, this is not an alt season now, but we already touched this territory. And if we go yearly, it's a Bitcoin season. It's already 2 years we are in a Bitcoin season. If we're looking back, if we see some kind of, I'm not saying like this, but any kind of bounce, even for some this mid-range, yeah, it will be crazy gains. And we already seeing a lot of shitcoins pumping like much greater than Bitcoin. Injective, Kaspa, Solana, here and there, and other, and a lot of still cheap, still pretty cheap.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm an altcoin bull on
same.
this year. This year, maybe next year.
Yeah, we're probably 9 months out is what I keep thinking toward the end of the year. A
Yeah.
fall to winter range. So yeah, I'll leave you to it though, man. I gotta crash. I'm freaking passing out right now. Hey, thanks so much for having me on, brother.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Yeah,
Nice to have you, and
yeah, we'll be staying in touch.
see you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye bye. So yeah, I think some kind of correction we will see pretty much soon, for sure, because a lot of resistance here. If we look at daily, yeah, I don't like this sell wall. I think no, I like it because then we will see. You see this volume? I think we'll see at least some cheaper Bitcoin in near future, but this will be bullish. This will be bullish opportunity. If we'll see some kind of 20% or 30% correction, it will be super bullish for me. I will buy the deep, guys. So yeah, you should probably take this as an opportunity, as an advantage. Yeah, an advantage to buy this deep for sure. So smash the likes, please, if you like this kind of content. We'll get much more soon. And by the way, subscribe to the channel because as you see, new YouTube subscribers now are breaking all-time highs on bigger channels. So leave a like, subscribe, and see you all soon. Some of my Bybit trades were liquidated, but most of them are still in profit. I mean, in realized profit. That's why you should always take profits. In next streams and videos, I will show you how I do this. I usually do like how to say partial, take profits like 10%, 10%, 10%, and then we pay like I place some buy orders on the other side. I will tell you more in the next stream, so keep subscribed. And we have some more guests as well. But of course, long term, this is very bullish. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a bear. I'm not a Bitcoin bear. I think that fiat currencies are collapsing and they are scam. And Bitcoin is not a bubble. Bitcoin is a pin, uh, which helps to blow this bubble of fiat scam currencies. So of course, Bitcoin is going to 100K, 200K, and maybe even million at some point. Maybe not this cycle, but at some next point. So I am super bullish on this. Just a little, maybe short scalp, a few weeks or maybe a few months, and then we should go higher. And even now we can go higher. No, like not 100% sure that we should go down right now. Look at Litecoin. Litecoin was liquidated. I had some nice profits, but then a part of them were liquidated yesterday. So yeah, I should have a look, and maybe I will buy back even higher. I don't know. Okay, guys, take care. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon. Bye bye.